To make a bingo bag, we are going to start off with 2 base pieces of fabric. It is going to measure 14 inches by 20 inches. And I'm just using a pencil because it's the back side of the fabric. Nobody's going to be able to see it. But if I do marks on the pretty side of the fabric, I'm going to use a heat erasable pen. Now for my pockets, I want to do green on the bottom and the top with this pattern in the middle. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece that is 8.5 by 31 for the dauber pockets. And then I'm going to cut a piece that is 14 by 8.5. Now for the other part of our pocket, we are going to measure 4.5 by 31 and 4.5 by 14. We are going to need 1 piece of interfacing. I'm using Pellin 808, and it's going to measure 14 by 20. Go ahead and iron on your interfacing to one of the base pieces. Now we take our 2 pieces for the straps. We are going to fold them in half and iron it. Then you are going to bring your raw edges to the middle and iron. And same thing with the bottom, and iron. And then fold in half and iron. You're going to do that to both pieces. We are going to take our straps over to the sewing machine, and we are going to stitch down both sides of the straps. I'm going to stitch going the same direction on both sides. So I pulled my strap out, and I'm going to start at the top, the same place that I started on the left side, and I'm going to stitch straight down. This is going to keep my fabric from curling, twisting like this. Next, we are going to take our 14 by 8.5 and 31 by 8.5 pieces, and we are going to stitch the raw edges together for both sides, but we're not going to stitch the ends. Once you've stitched both sides together, you're going to turn your fabric right side out, and then we're going to take it over to the ironing board and we're going to iron it. I have my decorative piece centered in the middle, and I'm just going to iron it flat. Now you're going to measure 1 inch from both the top and the bottom. Now you're going to take 6-inch piece of Velcro. Mine is an inch in width, and you're going to place it in the center of the fabric So if this is 14 inches wide, then 7 is the middle. Oops. So it'll go right here. Okay. We will take this over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch the Velcro on. Now when I get to the corner, I want my needle down in the thread, lift my presser foot, rotate my fabric, put my presser foot back down, and then I'm going to continue stitching. I'm going to cut my thread as close as I can get it because you don't want your strings hanging out. What we will do next is with our 31-inch dauber pocket, we are going to measure 1 inch over. You will then measure 3 inches from that line. Take your cardboard piece, it's an 1.25 inches thick, I can't remember if I said that already, and you're going to put it on the 3-inch mark. I just slide it under my ruler. And then you're going to fold the fabric over so it meets in the middle on both sides. Okay, you'll pull out this little guy and we are going to clip it on both ends. You can also pin it, but then you have to go and pin it to the main piece as well. Now measure 3 inches from that middle line, place your cardboard, and repeat. Fold over so it meets in the middle. Oops, I guess that needs to be straight. And we are going to continue all the way down to the end. Now with your base piece of fabric that has the Velcro on both sides, we want to mark the middle. Let's do it this way so the Velcro doesn't stick. And we're just going to fold it in half. And using our fingers, we're just going to press down this middle section, open it back up. And we're going to mark it with a pin. Actually, let's use it. If you have a pattern on your pocket, you want to make sure that it's facing the right way. But go ahead and place your dauber pockets about 1/2 inch up from the line. We are going to take this over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch going around. We're going to leave the top open, right? Because your daubers have to go in the pockets. So stitch around. Then we are going to stitch a straight line down these crease slots right here. So I'll just use my marker or my pen. And this I will clip into place. You can pin this in place, but I've stitched pockets like this so many times that I'm pretty used to lining up the fabric and getting it sewed on, so I'm not going to pin it in place. So now I am going to open up this little part right here, put my needle down in the middle of it, and then I'm just going to stitch. Instead of pulling, clipping, pulling, clipping, I'm just going to move my fabric to the next slot. Put my needle in the middle and start stitching. my favorite way to cut string, because you can just pull the string up, clip both sides, pull the string up, clip both sides, and you can do it pretty fast. Now we're going to take our other pocket. We are going to place it about 1/2 inch from the bottom, and we are just going to stitch around. We're going to leave this top part open so that way it keeps it as a pocket. Again, you can pin or clip this in place, but I'm pretty good about keeping it straight. I'm going to trim off the additional fabric on the sides. And now we are going to take our back piece. Oops, actually. We're going to take our straps and we're going to measure 14, so 17 inches is the middle, and we're going to put it at 3 inches and 11 inches for the strap. So place your strap, 3 inches, 11 inches, and then clip it in place. Take our piece of fabric that has the interfacing on it and make sure that the patterns are going the same direction. Mine, it doesn't matter if you have it right side up or upside down. Actually, it does. So this is right side up and this is right side up. So let's see. Clip it where we've got the straps. I like to leave a little bit of overhang on my straps so that way I know where to back stitch, because on the straps you want them to be durable, so stitching over it a couple times helps with that. Now we take this over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch around. We are not going to stitch right here. We're going to leave a gap so that way we can turn our fabric right side out. Now we clip our corners. We are at the ironing board. We are going to fold in our raw edges. Don't want those showing. And we are going to iron it down as well as the entire piece, making sure that you get the spots that you marked with your fabric pin so that way those don't show. Now we are going to do a top stitch all the way around. And here you have it. Here is your bingo bag. You can put your daubers in your pocket if you have bingo cards or any kind of paper, anything else that you want to throw in there. Just grab your bingo bag, head to bingo, win some money.